Welcome one and all to the Red Cross Youth Challenge 2016, the Red Race edition. This year's edition of RCYC doesn't really take place in our present, but in one of the many alternate dimensions that exist. In this world, there is no peace, there is no joy, only suffering at the hands of the Lynch King. The Lynch King is a powerful and evil sorcerer who rains destruction across all the land, coming up with cruel and unusual ways to torment his people just to keep them in line. The land was divided into multiple factions, and you have been split and placed into 5 of them. Just as people started getting used to living their lives in fear, something changed. People started developing powers that could help them protect themselves, the people they love, the things that were important to them.
In Alpha, the Lich King controls the minds of unsuspecting people and uses them to shoot and kill innocent civilians.
In Bravo, we were constantly hit by floods, damaging our homes and destroying our livelihood.
Charlie had to face the struggle of putting out fires and pulling their loved ones out of burning buildings.
Delta was unable to see what was coming their way until hidden bombs started exploding all across the faction.
And Echo's daily routine involves them teaching their children what they're supposed to do in an event of a biochemical attack. Too many lives have been lost due to exposure to these poisonous gases.
I am Mirana, the Princess of the Moon. I was in school, it was just a normal day. And it happened. Again. A brainwashed shooter started going around and killing the kids in school. I was so scared. I just did what I was taught to do. I hid under a table and waited for the police to come. However, the shooter seemed to know where everyone was hiding and flipped over table by table. Bang! He was inching closer to me, and I didn't know what to do. I just shut my eyes tight and hoped for the best. He flipped my table over and just continued walking without a shot. I was confused about what happened. I realized I was one of them, the heroes that could turn invisible at will.
I'm Thrall, but ever since people discovered my powers, they call me the Disruptor. I had no idea I could be a hero. I just wanted to live a simple life and take care of my mother and sisters. Sadly, in our country, there was no such luck. Flash floods are prevalent and occur as frequently as once a month. It struck again. News of the flash flood was announced from the warning sirens. I rushed home and helped prepare the house for the flood, piling sandbags around my home, hoping that it would spare my home from damage. Water started flowing through the sandbags. With all my might, I pushed the door closed. We could not afford to have our home destroyed again. I held the door there for days, and after receiving news from the radio that the flood was over, I opened the door and realized that my house was completely unscathed. It was then that I realized I had created a force field around my house from the energy that I exerted on the door.
I am Bambi and I live alone in the forest, a kind-spirited deer, having the power to enchant wild animals and have them listen to my commands. One day, smoke started engulfing the forest, and all the living creatures in the forest started to flee from the forest out into the open. It was the first time I stepped out of the forest into cities, but there wasn't a city. It was in ruins, engulfed in fire. I morphed into the shape of a human and started entering the city, but all I could see were people screaming, shouting, panicking, unsure what to do. This was when I tried to enchant these humans like how I enchanted wild animals. They started to come down and listen to what I said. This was when I realized the power I had was not only limited to animals, but I had the ability to enchant people and to calm them down. I am the Enchantress.
My name is Rexa, and I am blind from birth. I grew up relying on my 4 other senses and a hawk to grant me vision. Because of this, I was always called the Beastmaster by my friends. One day, I was on my way to the subway station to get to work when there was this sudden huge blast. I had no idea what had happened to me, but when I woke up a few days later, I was already in the hospital. The doctors told me that I was really lucky to have survived the blast. But other than that, something felt different about me. The world around me felt brighter, and as I stepped out of my bed and felt the wall around me, I realized that they were no longer just walls, and I could actually look through them. To be honest, I was really afraid of my vision, what I could see. But then, I realized that the X-ray vision I developed could actually be used to serve the greater good.
I am Puris Thandarath and I grew up in an orphanage. I lived up till I was 9 before I was adopted by a family who cared for me like I was their biological child. I was very grateful to them for their kindness, and I always wanted to be able to care for others when I grew up. I studied in the field of nursing and was a very successful nurse, able to care for patients when they are suffering. One day, my father slipped and fell at home and broke his bone. He was paralyzed from the head down. I was devastated and guilty. Ironically, being a nurse myself, I did not ensure that proper anti-slip mats and handrails were installed in the house. I blamed myself and locked myself in the room for a week. After a week, I finally straightened out my thoughts and was ready to take care of him. I grabbed his hand and apologized to him, but at that very instant, he could stand up again. I was shocked, but I realized I have the power of the omniscience, the power of regeneration.
And who am I, you may be wondering? My name is the Underlord, and I have the power to teleport. I can create portals and transport myself and 4 others to any location. I come from a team called Radiant. I have 4 other teammates, and we aim to defeat the Lynch King to try and restore peace in the land of Ezra. However, my teammates are simply not cooperating with me. They're flaming me and they call me the weakest link in the team. But what they haven't realized is that without me, they won't be able to teleport anywhere close to the Lynch King Kingdom. And I'm not gonna accept this. So I'm gonna leave my current team and form my own team. A better team. Will you join me? Like I said, I can only bring 4 of you. So who will it be?